Alright, so what I want to talk about here, this is huge, huge stuff. Alright, look, we know that the Lord said, thou shalt not, commit adultery and so on. Alright, it's rather obvious. You don't cheat on your wife, you don't cheat on your husband. Alright, you don't cheat on your relationship with God either. There's a spiritual aspect of adultery. Alright, there's a spiritual aspect to every single thing in that Bible. Well, let me think of something else here. There's a spiritual aspect of adultery. There's a spiritual aspect of murder. If you've done it in your head, you've done it. The Lord tells you right there in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, I think. I'm not sure if he goes into it in John, but there's a spiritual murder. Alright, there's a spiritual death, so on and so forth. Alright, so given all this is absolutely true, absolutely, when Paul mentions to work with your hands, no less. Now, we've always been taught to look at that as in the physical and only the physical. How do you work in the spirit? Huh? Oh my. Now we're getting into some very, very, very serious topic right here. Alright, very, very touchy, very, very serious. Because it opens up a ton of scripture that suddenly has a whole lot more depth than what we were ever taught. And it teaches us to apply the scripture in a whole other way. It's not just that it will be true. It is true now. The question is, are we faithful enough to even attempt to reach that belief? The work is belief. It's one thing to think that you know something. It's a whole other monster to believe it. The Lord told the centurion who came to him to get his servant healed. His servant was way far away, and the centurion asked Jesus to come and heal his servant. He said, even just say the word and I'll know that he'll be healed when I get home. Jesus told him, not so great faith have I seen in all of Israel. Now, that's the kind of work that changes things. That's the kind of work that we're supposed to be doing. That's the kind of work that those of us without jobs should be doing. Should be working on growing our seeds, the seeds that He has given us to believe, growing them, rather than just burying them in the sand and waiting for Him to come back and like, oh, here you go. Here's what you gave me. Is a whole lot more than just one way to work.